men can be saved. There is no other name under heaven.
What do you want to be, son, at the age of 6? Well, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a school teacher. I want to be a lawyer. He's got something already in there that's moving based on his characteristics. You see, and he would develop these things from looking and watching and observing. You see, and that's why we have to train up the child in the way he should go, so that when he is old, he will not depart from it. And this is a very, very important statement. You see, it is very and vital, that we instill these good values into the child at a very early age. The children, they're the future of the nation. You see, the old are going to die away, and the children are coming up, you see, to replace the old. You see, listen to the warning that the father gives the child. I know that there are a lot of you mothers out there, who are hurting because, your sons have failed you in some way or the other. Proverbs 17:25 says, a foolish son is a grief to his father, and a bitterness to his mother. It hurts his mother. So the father continues the warning, and he says, my son, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, come along with us, let us lie in wait for someone's blood, let's waylay some harmless soul, let's swallow them alive like the grave and whole, like those who go down to the pit. We'll get all sorts of valuable things, and we can fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot with us, and we'll share one common gold. The purse will be one purse. We'll share all the spoils together. He says, my son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their path, for their feet rush into sin. They are swift to shed blood. How many times have you said this, mother? How many times have you said this, father? You look at your child and you tell him, son, do not keep bad company. They will get you into trouble. Do not do this. Do not go here. Do not go there. How many times have you said this, and yet the child will disobey, and they will go and do exactly what you tell them not to do? This is the nature of the beast. This is that fallen nature that's in us. We're born in sin. This is what happens. We've got to be changed. We talked about being born again in one of our other programs. And this is what has to happen. The child has to be, you have to change the heart of the child from small. You see? This is what you have to do. Beloved, just speaking about this is, is such a hurtful thing. Because I know that you have lost your sons. Some of you have lost sons by the hands of other sons who were swift to shed blood. And I'm so sorry. I've lost a brother by someone who was swift to shed blood. So I know, I can empathize. And so the father pleads. He says, don't go along with them, my son. The loss is too great. When one son is murdered, two sons are lost. One is dead and the other is tried and put away for life. And the father continues to give the instructions. He speaks about the reward of wisdom. You gotta have wisdom. Don't do it. Don't go there with them. I wish I could say something that would ease the pain that some of you are undergoing right now. But I know that perhaps you have to suffer that pain and that grief for a time, so that God can make all things work together for good, because you love God. You are called according to His purpose, and there will be a purpose that will come out of these things. We will have a better generation if we all play our part in this. Lesson number 2. The father has a lot of patience with the son. He says, listen to me, my son. If you accept my words and store up my commandments within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding, and if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, and you will find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds victory in store for the upright. He's a shield to those who walk blamelessly. For he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of the wicked, from men whose words are perverse. Oh, my son, my son, my son. Beloved, we as parents ought to teach our children what is right and just and fair. We must teach them that if they lack wisdom, they must ask God, who gives to all men liberally and upbraided not, and God will give them. But they must ask in faith, not wavering. Because the one that wavers is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. And he needs to know that he will not receive anything from the Lord, because a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. We've got to teach our children this. And they need to know that there is a blessing that comes from wisdom. We've got to tell them these things. They don't know. They don't know. We've got to talk to them. We have to teach our children what's right and what's wrong. They don't know. And if we don't teach them what's right, somebody will teach them what's wrong. And they will go along. And the father goes on, my friend. It's going to be a long day for the son. You see, he has a lot to learn, and the father has so much to say. And he's not about to stop now. He turns the page and he gives his son lesson number 3. He's going to tell him how to receive the blessing that comes from wisdom. There's a way. Everything has a way. You know, there's a way to receive certain things. Again, he addresses him as my son. My son. Very important. Sometimes you need to just look at your children and call them. Call them that way. My son, my son. Sometimes it's good to call them by name so they know that you're calling them. But when you've got them, you lay your hands on them. And you say, my son, my daughter, I love you. Let them know these things. And he addresses him again. He says, my son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commandments in your heart. For they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablets of your heart.